Hey guys, welcome to another Plan With Me Monday. This week we are planning for the week of April 1st through April 8th. And first of all, we are going on vacation this week, so I'm super excited to put that in there. We're leaving on Wednesday to go to the Great Wolf Lodge. This was Hannah's birthday present. We're going for 3 days. We've never been, and so we're super excited about that. I'm using this Bow Bunny collection that I got from Tuesday Mornings. I was showing you that it was just $2.99. I absolutely love all the spring paper that they have out right now. I'm actually currently working on another junk journal. It's a full-size composition book with like tons of tuck spots, tags, matted pages. There's plenty of journaling spots. I mean, it's amazing, and I'm using like all this spring stuff I got, so I'm super excited about it. This little book here I also got from Tuesday Mornings. I believe there was 2 of them. They're super cute just because they're tiny. I mean, who doesn't like tiny super cute things? But I got 2 of them in a pack. Look how thick that is. It's like this thick chunky little book. And I believe I got 2 of them. I want to say for $1.99. I don't think it was $2.99. I want to say it was $1.99. One was just little images, like little graphic paper, and then the other one was like phrases and quotes. So that's really the reason I got it, because I really like the phrases and quotes. So I am going to get started planning here. And I thought today we'd do something a little different for Plan With Me Monday. People have been asking me to talk instead of doing like just musical voice, or just music, setting it to music. People have been asking me to talk, and I kind of struggled with that because I don't really know what to talk about. But I think I narrowed it down. I'm just gonna kind of give you like just a little bit more about me. Just, you know, a little bit more about who I am, and then we'll kind of go from there. So let me get started planning here, and I'll pop back in to, I guess, chat with y'all for a little bit. All right, so just so you guys know, like, I am literally sitting at my desk drinking a cup of coffee and painting my nails while I'm editing this. So this is really like we are sitting down to chat, because that's exactly like the frame of mind I'm in right now. Like, I have my coffee and my nail polish, and we're just chilling. So pick up your cup of coffee and your nail polish, or you can plan with me, whatever you want to do. So I guess you could say that I grew up in a, I would say a typical family, but that's only because I don't know any different. So I have 8 brothers and sisters, and I am the youngest. My parents were, of course, older when I was born, in their 40s, I believe, because I'm the last of 9 kids. That's a lot of kids to have. My oldest sibling is 20 years older than me. So in 20 years, she had 9 of us. She actually had 11 of us. I have twin sisters that were born early in the 1960s. And so they didn't make it. They were only like a pound a piece. Back in the 60s, they just didn't have the technology to save, you know, what preemies or whatever they're called, you know, little babies. So my mom, of course, was like, you know, an angel. I mean, who chooses to have 11 children? Only an angel could choose that. So I was the youngest of 9 kids. I grew up in Florida, and it really was like just a beautiful place to grow up. So we lived on a canal growing up. And so a lot of my memories from childhood were like fishing on the dock and going out on the boat. Just because we were on the canal and, you know, we were connected to the river. So we were always like either tooling around the canal or, you know, going out into the river on the boat. Or like I said, fishing off the dock there. I remember me and my friend that I grew up with, we used to fish a lot. We would catch, like we would get nets and catch stuff in the water. It's actually kind of gross thinking about it now because that canal water was nasty. But anyway, it was fun. We were kids. We used to play with manatees. We didn't like get in the water and play with the manatees. But this was back like early 80s before you weren't allowed to like be near manatees. Like we would feed them lettuce and we would feed them water with the hose and just watch them. You can't do that now, I believe. That's against the law, I think. But it was super fun. Like we had a pool. So we were always swimming in the pool. It was Florida, so you swim in the pool 9 months out of the year. We were only like 15 minutes away from the ocean, so we were constantly going to the beach. And I just had like really fun childhood. Like I said, I didn't know any better. Like I thought it was a very typical family because I didn't realize our large family was not typical because it's the only family I knew. I just remember always having, you know, somebody to tag along with or somebody to follow, somebody to fight with. That's what I knew. So I think about kids now who are like only children and I'm like, oh my gosh, how do they do it? You know, because it's like a foreign concept to me to be an only child just because there was so much, you know, to do when I was younger. So I went to a Catholic school. I know that that's probably not typical. I went from kindergarten to 8th grade to a Catholic school. I absolutely thought it was the worst thing in the world while I was going because it was so hard. And I was one of those kids that did not like to work. Like I did not like to do my homework. I did not like to pay attention. I wasn't like a bad kid. I just did not like to work. I did not like school. I think it's really funny now because like I get mad when I miss Jeopardy at night because I absolutely love to answer questions. And I will randomly go onto Google just to ask questions that I don't know answers to because now I absolutely love learning. So how crazy is that? That was like something that I totally didn't like growing up. And now as an adult, like the more that I can learn, like the better. So I think that's kind of funny. So I wasn't, you know, thrilled about going to this public school because, or not public, this private school because my best friend on the street, she went to a private school and sometimes like she was a year ahead of me and sometimes she was doing either the same work or like, you know, whatever in her higher grade than I was doing. So they really did have, you know, a higher standard, I think, at the private school as far as the type of work and the amount of work that they were doing. But a lot of it just had to do with me. Like, I hate using the word lazy because I don't think kids are lazy, but I guess I was lazy. I just didn't want to learn. I didn't like it. So looking back now, though, am I grateful that I went to the private school? Heck yes, I am. I mean, I was given the opportunity that not very many people were given. I was given the opportunity to be in a classroom with 12 kids. That was my graduating 8th grade class, 12 kids. Like, who has that option? Not a lot of people. That's why I love Hannah's school so much right now. We homeschool, but she also goes to a private school for her extracurriculars, and she's literally one of 5. So she has 4 classmates. And I think that that's just really special, the one-on-one treatment that you get and the one-on-one as far as like they know your family, they know things about you. When you have a classroom of 30 kids, you can't possibly get to know them like intimately as you could if you have a classroom of 10 or 6 or, you know what I mean? So I'm not saying anything negative about public school, because holy cow, teachers are amazing and they devote their lives to our youth. I just think it's like, I know what an opportunity I was given by going to a private school. I know it's just not something that a lot of people get. And I'm really grateful now looking back. Of course, you're not grateful then, because what kids are grateful? But now looking back, like, I'm so grateful I was given that opportunity. So after I graduated from 8th grade, that's as far as our local private school went, was just to 8th grade. So after I graduated from 8th grade, I went to just a typical public middle school and high school. I wasn't really a great kid in high school or middle school. I wasn't bad. I just didn't, again, I hate to use the word lazy, but didn't like doing work. So I failed a lot of classes. Got into some trouble. Not going to get into that. I chose some people that I probably shouldn't have been hanging out with, and I think we all do that. And after I graduated from high school, at first I thought I wanted to be a court reporter, and so that was like what I was going to do. I was going to be a court reporter, and I thought, oh, I'm just going to take a year off after I graduate from high school. Listen, if you have the idea that you're going to take a year off after you graduate from high school, don't do it, because very few of us go back. So I never went back. I'm not saying that nobody ever does. I'm just saying it's harder. Like, I think that everybody should just take that time to finish their education, like get right into college, because once you take that year off or whatever, my year turned into, let's see, 20 years it's been, 22, still never been back to college. I'm not saying that, you know, I'm not an educated person, because I believe that I am. I just never got a college education because I never went. So, after I decided that I was going to take that year off, I got a job. I moved out of my house. I got my own apartment. I, you know, of course, fell in love. And that is when I had my beautiful daughter, Gabrielle. I gave birth to her when I was 20, and she, like, completely changed who I was, of course, because she was my first child. So I went from being, you know, just a young, carefree, you know, young adult to a mom. And I took that very seriously. I took being a mom very seriously. I'm grateful that I did, but I think the reason I took being a mom seriously is because my mom took being a mom seriously, and I had that role model to look up to. So I absolutely loved being a mom. I loved having Gabrielle just everywhere with me. I didn't do like tons of babysitting because like I just took her everywhere with me. She was, you know, my little partner in crime. I did raise her by myself. The only thing that I'm gonna say is that Gabrielle and my next daughter Selena, she was born 3 years later, they both have the same father, and it was not a healthy relationship, and I'm not going to get into any details about that because, first of all, that's just not who I am anymore, and I know that it contributed to who I am, and I'm grateful that everything that happened did happen. But when you forgive and forget, forgetting is, of course, something you don't really do, but when you forgive somebody, like for treating you bad or for not being a healthy person to be in a relationship with, I believe like you let it go. So I've let it go. Like, I don't have any negative feelings towards their father. I'm sorry, that was my phone. Like, I don't have any negative feelings because everything that happened, it happened to bring us where we are now with my husband, William, and our family. Like, I can't have negative feelings towards my ex-husband because I don't feel anything. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I forgave, and even though you don't forget, but you do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't harbor any resentment. I don't have any negative feelings. I just know that that was not a healthy relationship and I was not treated properly. And the result was these two beautiful children that I have in my life that are my children. And that's it. So I don't really know what else to say about that other than, so Gabrielle was born when I was 20 and I raised her by myself. And then Hannah was born when I was just turned, I was 23. So I celebrated my 24th birthday 2 months after she was born. So I was 23 when I had Selena. Gosh, I can't even get them straight. I only have 3 kids. I don't know how my mom did it with 9. And I was by myself. So I worked at a hospital. I worked in the x-ray department. And my mom and dad were absolutely amazing. They were my backbone. My dad carried me, literally. Like, he just carried me through being a mom because he was the one that would go to all of the, daycare programs if I couldn't get off work. And then eventually when they got into elementary school, he was the one to go to award ceremonies if I couldn't get off work. I mean, my dad and my mom, but more so my dad, he just really took over that role of being a father figure for those kids because they didn't have a male figure in their life. And he was amazing, and he is amazing. So I was really blessed to have the parents that I was given. So when the kids were, I believe, 7 and 4, I was working at an eye doctor office and just doing reception. And that's when I met my husband, William. We actually met on eHarmony. It's the computer dating site. And I had been on it before. I had probably like 3 rounds on eHarmony. And let me tell you, there's some crazy people out there. I always played it safe by like letting my, best girlfriend know like where I was going to be. And like we would call and check in with each other and we would have like code words and stuff. So, cause she did it too. She was on eHarmony too. She got married off of eHarmony too. We're eHarmony girls. So when I met my husband, like he was single. He had Cammy the dog. And he had never been married before, no kids, and I don't know, we just like, we clicked, like just as a family. We talked on the phone for a very long time before we met in person. But we just clicked. I don't know, I don't even know how to describe it. And like, I'm sure that I'm not his typical like girlfriend material, and he surely was not my typical boyfriend material, but that's probably why he's such a good person, because I'm drawn to like bad boys, so let's thank God that we got out of that. So it just like felt right when we were all together. So really, I don't even know how to describe, like we were in I don't know, it just like we clicked, and before you know it, I was pregnant with Hannah. And I moved into the house that he owned, and we were a family, and that's just the way it's been since me and William met. I don't even know, I can't even put it into words. I guess it was truly that he was my other half and I was searching for him, and I didn't know I was searching for him. So we've been together for, holy cow, if Gabrielle was 7, she's 20 now. So we've been together for 13 years. Oh my gosh, we've been together for 13 years. Now I feel old. And it's not hard to be with him. It's not hard to like love him. It's not hard to be married to him. Don't get me wrong. It's not like sunshine and roses and rainbows. He's a pain in my butt. But I love him to pieces. And so it just works for us. We just, if he's making me mad, yesterday he made me so mad. I was like, get away from me. I don't even want to look at you. And we didn't look at each other for like, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. I walked away from him. And he laughs at me when I say that. So, of course, I'm trying to plan. And William comes over and puts this nugget on my calendar. So I had to give her hugs and kisses. Look at all the hair on my calendar. Can we start with that? And I said, take her. I don't want her. I got a plan. She's so cute, though. So anyway, that's kind of brought me to where I am in my life right now. If you don't know me, I am 41 years old. Like I said, me and William have been together for 13 years. The kids, that's the only dad, other than my father, of course, who's grandpa. That's the only dad that my kids have known. And I'm so grateful that they, even though they're not DNA related, that is totally their dad. He would do anything for those girls. And half the time, like when because he moved out of Maryland and moved to Florida. And so when I met him and we moved back to Maryland, when he saw people from his past, like nobody even knows that Gabrielle and Selena are not biologically his. He doesn't introduce them as his stepkids. Those are his girls. So I'm just really glad that I finally found him, that he was like the one I've been searching for my whole entire life, and I finally found him. So that was my chat for today. I don't know how you guys feel about this video. I don't know how you feel about the chatting. I can, of course, go into more detail about raising my kids. I can go into more detail about anything. But I just need to know, what do you guys want to hear about? What do you want to chat about? I did enjoy doing this. I didn't think I would enjoy it, but I did. Because like I said, I had my coffee and I got my nails painted while we were talking. And I did enjoy it. So let me know if you guys like this style of plan with me, where I just kind of chat with you guys, or if you want me to go back to setting it to music, or you want me to be more focused on what am I doing for the planning portion. Let me know. So I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you in my next video. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye.